Far away, on the other side of the world, a girl named Aine lived with her mother and father, whom she loved very much. When Aine was very small, her mother was a fisherman, the most skilled and honoured of any along the coast. Her skills at navigating were legendary, and it was said that she had journeyed farther into the uncharted portions of the sea than anyone ever before had. From her mother, Aine learned to manage a craft, to read the water, to chart a course, and to wrestle a fish and ride out a storm. Everyone said that she'd be as good as her mother someday. But then her mother's visions suddenly went dark. And then the shaking started, and the fits that lasted for hours. Soon the beloved fishing boat had to be sold to buy medicines to keep the illness at bay. And the maps were sold, and the tools were sold. Heirlooms, rings, winter boots, a wedding dress, even her mother's spyglass. Everything that could be traded for coins was brought to the marketplace, anything to make her improve. And the medicines worked, until they did not. And when Aine was only 10 years old, her mother began to die. During those last moments, Aine sat at the sickbed, still trying to coax broth into those blistered lips, still trying to dab the fever away with a cool, wet cloth, still trying to save her. By now her mother's eyes were bloodshot and sightless, with a thick yellow slick creeping across the whites. She licked her lips and gasped, grabbing Aine's hand. "The wrong boy," her mother whispered, her voice as rough and dry as a mouthful of sand. She coughed. "The wrong boy will save your life, and you will save his, and the wolf." She choked and shuddered. But what a wolf had to do with boys, right, wrong, or otherwise, Aine's mother didn't say. Instead, she pressed her hand against Aine's heart one last time, before letting it drift back down to the bed. And soon her shallow breathing stopped, and she was gone. Now Aine, being a practical girl, an industrious girl, and not prone to sentimentality or grief, didn't waste time weeping. She loved her mother and missed her terribly, but crying couldn't get the washing done, or the bread made, or soup cooked, and it certainly couldn't bring her mother back from the dead. Besides, Aine's father wept enough for the two of them. Aine's mother had taught her well. She knew how to keep a house clean and warm and safe. She knew how to tie nets by hand, and use them to snatch a fish from the city sloughs and preserve them with smoke and salt. She could stretch a roast from dinner to breakfast to a stew that would last a week or more. She knew how to drive a hard bargain at the marketplace, which was handy because her father had locked himself in his room with a jug of wine and his howling sadness. He stopped going to the shop where he worked. He stopped speaking. His tears flowed like swollen rivers and threatened to drown the both of them. Aine waded through the swamp of her father's grief. Meanwhile, the coins in the jar grew fewer and fewer until they disappeared altogether. Meanwhile, the oil jug grew lighter and the pantry thinned, and the bean pot was as empty as Aine's heart. Even the fish deserted them. Eventually, the shopkeeper came to the house and said that her father need not return. Shortly after that, their landlord told them to pack up their things and find a new place to live. Aine was finally at a loss. She went into her father's room and woke him up. "Father," she said, "the shopkeeper says that you needn't come back, and the landlord says that we must move, and there are no more coins in the jar, so I cannot buy flour, so I cannot bake bread. And there is no soup on the stove because we ran out of meat." Potatoes, too, Aine thought, and lentils, and fish, and salt, and any other bit of food that might have been sliced into the pot. In her mind, she calculated how much was needed to keep them fed through the week, through the month, through the year. Where would the money come from? She had no idea. Her father dried his eyes and sat up. He was a big man, a giant. His red hair blazed.